What's up, everybody? Welcome to Both Feet in Bounds. We're going to be doing a little free agency talk, little fantasy talk. We're going to combine them. We're going to do both. We're down a man at the moment. MIA Blaze. I don't really know where he is, but
I hope he's okay.
he'll be all right. He's probably asleep or whatever. And he's just like, you know what? That's what I want to do instead of this.
Or
But
stuck at work.
Maybe he's in a Discord fight.
maybe.
Or
I bet he's winning. I bet he's winning.
Or
if
a
he
disco fight. Yeah.
Okay.
Disco fight.
Discord. He's winning wherever he is, I'm sure. But yeah, let's talk ball. Let's talk free agency. Let's talk fantasy. Let's talk all this stuff. We got running backs on the docket. We've done quarterbacks, we've done wide receivers. We're gonna go running backs. But first, there's some weird stuff going on.
And some of it involves running backs too.
Yeah, it does. There's some weird nonsense going on.
I like that Jamal Williams move.
That dude's gonna be bonkers on the.
I love that guy, dude. I really hope that he's like legit on another team. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He's just such a likable guy.
And they got a QB. They got Thomas back. They got Olave. They got him. They got Kamara. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And I mean, maybe that might have prompted that move or whatever. Maybe
they're like not knowing the future of that guy.
Yeah.
For
but
sure.
I don't know.
I think Jamal Williams is probably better than Kamara at this point.
Yes, I would agree with you. I would totally agree with you. So I don't know. There's kind of this weird thing, right? You remember last year when we were doing this and we were like going through preseason and everyone was all hyped up about the Raiders because they got Devontae Adams. And it was like, that's still Derek Carr's team. You know what I mean? Like, just because you put Derek Carr on the Saints doesn't mean that, like, I mean, they're basically this year's Raiders with the same QB. They have some good players. Does that really mean, though, that they're going to accomplish much? I don't know. I mean, I could be.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't say
in that division.
Yeah, it's way too early to tell. You know what I mean? But like,
you talk about Baker like that, Tampa Bay's going to come out slinging.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. Baker,
I want to see Baker with a 10-win season.
And I'm not exaggerating. I think Baker's better than Brady there. Not even exaggerating.
So Baker is better than the statue of Brady there.
Well, I meant last year. Last year.
Oh, yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah. Like not Super Bowl Brady, but like last year Brady. Yeah. Baker would have been.
Brady was average at best last year.
So I don't know. Like you said, I'm excited for Baker in on the Bucs, but like, are they going to be good enough to beat consistent Derek Carr and that roster? I don't know. Are they going to be first in that division? I don't know.
Yeah, not to hype up my boys too much, but I know the offense is looking a little weak, but Atlanta is putting together a D. They got Jesse Bates from Cincinnati.
Yeah, I saw that.
Came over.
That was expensive though.
Yeah, he was a little expensive. It looks by the talks in the back end like Darius Slay may be coming down.
Really?
Which
I saw that. Why just side topic? Why did the Eagles release him? What was he not good last year?
He was very good last year, but I mean,
too expensive.
I think it was getting him and what's that other guy? CJ, whatever his name is.
DJ.
Yeah, that guy. I think getting him back, both of them back, was like near impossible from what I saw. Like they had to get rid of one of them. But yeah, Slay's been already talking to like Atlanta people apparently.
Okay.
And that would be interesting because they have AJ Terrell. He's probably like top 10 corner in the league. He just has no backup whatsoever. And then they're picking the pieces up on defense. Their offense is still horrible as of right now. But
they just have do they what's their pick? What pick they got?
8.
3? 8?
8.
I like Algier.
I just don't know if they can trade up enough to get one of the 4.
Well, they're not going quarterback. They already said Ritter was the starter. They're not even going to try there. So I think it's still they're in a rebuild. They're going to shore up the defense even more. Someone like Jalen Carter slips because his pro day apparently looked terrible. And I mean, we know he has talent though. Like you can mold him once he gets in the NFL to be like a freak athlete again. But
right,
I think they pick someone that slips down on defense, and then maybe give Ritter a year. I mean, Ritter, he played 4 games last year and wasn't like absolutely terrible. Well,
No.
he definitely has.
He's got some weapons though. I
Yeah.
mean, you got a good rookie. You had a good rookie running back this year. Got 1,000 yards and didn't even start.
Yeah, I mean,
For the most part.
Ritter could be okay. Like he's not gonna be Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, but they're not getting their hands on either one of them. That's not gonna happen. So like, do you pick Anthony Richardson there? Maybe, but like, no, I don't think so. Like, I think you just roll with Ritter.
Go to the Raiders, I'll be surprised.
You know what is super weird? I just saw this. I just picked this up in the chat, but then I looked it up, and it's PJ Walker is going to the Bears. Why? Are they worried about Justin?
That's not a bad backup for Fields.
No, I was about to say, I think that's more of just same play style. So if Fields goes down, they sort of fit him in.
Yeah.
Fit him in the same offensive style.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah,
that's weird.
He's actually more of a passer anyway, more of a pocket passer.
More of a passer, but he still like has the ability to like they don't have to change the playbook around a lot. Like he can definitely just roll in that offense. So I think
that makes
that's
sense.
probably why.
That's actually not a bad because you're not really. He had some pretty decent games.
Mobile quarterbacks too. You can't just have a nobody, and you have to prepare for them to get hurt. Like you have to have somebody that can play. So I mean, it's a fair deal to pick someone up.
Who was the receiver that the Bears got?
DJ Moore.
How about the backup for Denver Broncos? Look, see they signed Stidham.
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
They
signed 2 years for Stidham. I mean, that's a pretty decent backup for Russ there, I think, because I Stidham was going to stay with the Raiders and actually take over that team because he's got the arm talent. It's just and he could definitely sling that rock and get
his awareness is quite poor. But I mean,
he you know what he reminds me of, like Jeff George way back in the day. If anybody recalls him,
I do.
Shotgun for an arm. You know, he was George was the number one pick, but he was either looked amazing or just threw the ball into triple coverage.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. There's a lot of crazy moves going around. Dallas got Gilmore.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy. Montgomery,
Zeke is gone.
Where did Montgomery go? The Lions?
So Swift and Montgomery in that backfield. That's not a bad backfield right there.
Well, I mean, it's not much different than Williams, though. They just traded Williams for Montgomery.
Montgomery is more of a pass catcher and a little more elusive than Williams. I think Williams,
I thought it was surprising that the Bears wanted to roll with Herbert exclusively. I mean, they brought in Dude, but like. They liked Herbert over Montgomery. I feel like that was a contest last night.
They liked
last year.
They liked him. They liked him last year too.
Yeah,
Montgomery was not the number one choice of running back for them. They were the Bears staff. Actually, there was a big report early in the season that the Bears staff did not want Montgomery as the starter, and he didn't fit into their game plan.
I don't know. I don't think so we're discussing running backs today anyways, but I don't think anything is more concerning than Cincinnati's backfield. They lost Pirine
they're going to lose Mixon too.
Mixon.
They haven't lost Mixon yet.
They haven't lost him yet. I know. I keep jumping the gun on that and people are crucifying me for it, but like I feel like that's a gonna happen thing.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it looks pretty inevitable.
Why they let go of Pirine when that is like inevitable, like you said? Then I don't know. I'm confused. Unless they're going to blow everyone away and go for someone like Henry.
No,
Henry's not even attainable at this point. Like, you know what?
Well, they couldn't afford him. They can't pay in their receivers.
You know what they would have to give up? You know what they have
Yeah.
to give up for Tennessee's only weapon? Like, that's all they have. Like, to get like someone like that would be absurdly impossible.
I got a question.
We're going to get Miles Sanders. But
what do you think they could grab Gibbs from Alabama?
Eckler. That's a cool one.
Yeah,
Coming in hot.
Eckler just has to be traded,
Yep.
Yeah, but he wants more money, and since he can't
how about
afford
Gibbs,
anybody.
How about Gibbs from Alabama?
Okay, let's talk about Jahmyr Gibbs because he is. Since we're on the running back topic, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be. So everyone's talking about Bijan Robinson. They all love Bijan Robinson, which is fair.
Yep.
He's
right.
the typical Barry Sanders style running back. He's like that dude that you want, right? He's compared to Barry Sanders all the time. His like cutback ability, all that. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think, coming out of Alabama, will go in like late first round, right around where Cincinnati would have a pick. And to me, he's more of a professional, like a pro style running back. He reminds me of like McCaffrey, like very explosive, but also very, very good hands, can block insanely well. I think he's more complete than Bijan is more of just like a hand the ball off, hope he makes 2 cuts and gets in the end zone kind of player. Jahmyr Gibbs lined up in the slot last year at Alabama a lot and just like plays all over the field. He returned punts, he returned kickoffs. He's big. He's like what, 6'1", 230, something like that, and runs a 4.4.
So you're saying that's a viable?
I think he could go Bengals, but I think he gets picked up a little bit before that. Like early 20s. I think he's going to be hard to hold out for. They'd have to trade up a little bit.
Yeah, there's really only 2 major running backs in the draft there.
Those 2 are really the only 2 you're like dying to get.
I mean, there's a bunch of them there's a bunch of guys with talent, but they're also unproven because they played either like
Kenny McIntosh came out for Georgia, right?
Yeah, but he also played. There was 3 of them. 3 running backs carry, average what, 10, 11 carries a game?
Yeah, for like 10 carries for 100 yards. Something ridiculous.
But you also don't know what you're getting there. I mean, because you also got what was it? Like Spears at Tulane, McBride, I think, and the kid from Texas A&M.
He ran the dude that ran like a 4.29 or whatever it is. Archaney.
Yeah.
What's that?
I mean, it's funny because there's 2 really marquee running backs, and the only one that people talk about is Bijan.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's possible. I don't see them being able to get him though. I do think a big pickup though is Carolina getting Miles Sanders. I think that's something to talk about. They have no one else, so he might just be their offense. I don't even know who's playing quarterback for Carolina this year.
Dalton.
Oh, yeah, perfect. 400-year-old Andy Dalton is going to step in and sling it to no one.
He's only 34. The Red Rocket.
Cincinnati has to have something up their sleeve, right? They got rid of P. Ryan. They're probably losing Mixon. They got rid of Hayden Hurst, who was a huge weapon. I mean, a lot of people don't remember. Yeah, and now they're just like rolling with the double receiver and Burrow. And that's it. That's all they like. I don't know.
It makes no sense. That's what I'm saying. It just makes no sense.
They have to be planning something, and it could be. See, what I thought is, if they're planning to trade up for someone like Jahmyr Gibbs, why are you getting rid of all these picks before? Like you would use them to trade up. Like I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea. We'll have to figure it out. But free agency is about to spice up. I don't
know. I think the craziest thing is that Lamar's been able to be contacted by people and no one has come out and said anything about it.
Lamar's a weird one. Rodgers is still doing whatever Rodgers is doing. No one knows. He's just lurking around.
Quarterback for the Packers, general manager for the Jets.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That's.
I mean, he's going to the Jets. They just have to figure out why. The difference between Rodgers and Brady is that Brady would take less money to go somewhere and win, whereas Rodgers is like, pay me $60 million, figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, though? Because like Brady got paid like $10 million a year to play. He didn't care.
Right.
But Rodgers would never do that, ever, not in a million years. Rodgers is going to say to those 2 teams, you figure it out, and I'll play for whoever figures it out. Although he has said in all transparency that he doesn't want to go back to Green Bay and that they don't want him, and it's not a good relationship anymore.
No, I mean, he's going to play for the Jets. We know.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and they were talking about how like the Packers could draw it out forever until basically the draft, and furthermore, I think just because he has some kind of clause in his contract where it's like he doesn't have to be traded away by a certain time. Like they can trade him all the way to the start of the season or something like that and just sweat the Jets out until the Jets are like, we'll give you whatever you want because we need a quarterback to start.
Well, there's also been rumor that they could be using him like for during the draft shenanigans.
Yeah.
They could like pull it right in the middle of like a round and say, okay, now we'll give him to you for this, but we want to move up or like whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Like they can literally hold off to do whatever they want with him, which is
And
crazy.
what if they even want to like ship him off to somewhere else that he doesn't even know about? Does he even
That would be the funniest scenario.
Does he even have to approve it, or can he just
No,
be
so the
shipped
best
off?
scenario would be the curveball where they go in
Mhm.
and then like right before the first round starts, they're like, "Hey Carolina, you get him. We're taking Bryce Young."
Right.
Just a flip all
Right.
of a sudden. Like it's
'Cause
possible.
You know what's interesting about this whole thing is everyone gets so emotional about it, but like Jordan Love is not the next Aaron Rodgers for Green Bay. He's just not. He's not.
Love, even an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, no, we don't. But like
Jordan Love's a
it's
placeholder.
It's not even like a question though that he's not the next guy. So like when Brett Favre went down, it was like, please put Aaron Rodgers in. We're so sick of this, right? And they shipped him off. But like no one's like really asking for Jordan Love. I think people are just so sick of Rodgers that they're asking for anything but Rodgers.
They just don't want drama.
Right. But like that's not saying Jordan Love is like the next guy in
he's definitely a placeholder for
Bay.
sure. So the two we were talking about before we started,
I just think it's funny because people are going like, oh, people are like, oh, well, buy stock in, for all day purposes, buy stock in Jordan Love. And I'm like, no, thanks.
No. So the two things I'm interested in that I was talking about before show were the two restructures that I think are a little weird and like at weird times. Stephon Diggs from the Bills just took like a restructure to give them $5 million in cap space. That most of the time teams don't do that unless there's a specific reason behind it, unless they're like shooting for one thing. Like why touch his contract if you're not like reaching?
Mm-hmm.
And then Kansas City restructured Mahomes' contract to give $19 million in cap space. There's a big amount. And the first thing that comes to mind for both of those teams is OBJ.
Yeah.
Now, he's not going to cost that much, I don't think. I don't think he's going to be extremely expensive. They said that he didn't look like he used to in his workouts, that he would be like a wide receiver too, which with the Chiefs, I don't know how he's not just wide receiver one right away. Like, that makes sense. But is that a possibility, or do you think he's just locked to go with the Jets because Rodgers said so? Like, I don't.
Did you watch the interview?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that the most telling thing about that interview is that he is a open and honest person, and he straight up said, I did not make any demands from the Jets. I gave them a wish list of like, I would love to play with these guys.
Right.
But he didn't go in there and say, I'm not playing with you unless you sign these guys.
No,
he's like, I have no control over that. And they said that. He's like, I don't have any control over that. So,
by the way, they got Alan Lazard and paid him way too much to come there.
Yes, 100%. And the only thing I can say about that is that he is a tight end, though. And
who?
Alan Lazard.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Well, I mean, he's big like a tight end, so they could play him as a tight end.
I mean,
they could still line him up.
They could, but yeah, he's definitely like a slot receiver. I would say,
like,
isn't he?
So you use him as a slot receiver, tight end / player, or whatever. But then you have Garrett Wilson on the outside and Elijah Moore on the outside. You're not going to like line up what's his name on the outside. He just didn't do well in that position.
That was the thing about me is Lazard came in because they wanted, like, they're like, okay, we got your boy, now come over here. That was like the idea, right?
Right.
Not thinking they have two receivers. They didn't need him. They don't need OBJ. They don't need any of these players. Like, stop wasting money on a guy who's already going to come to your team. We know he's going to come.
Like, can you imagine what happens though if they're like, if the Packers do something crazy, like, oh, give us like Elijah Moore and Sauce. Like,
so okay, that was my first thought.
So it's like, no thanks. Then never mind, keep him.
Well, though,
what do you do?
That was my first thought of why they got Lazard and paid him so much. Is maybe one of the other two receivers is part of the deal.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
But,
so
I mean,
it's the thing that makes the most sense, right?
It can't be
Sauce.
No, it can't be Garrett because he's on a rookie contract. Like it would be silly for them to do that. Like Elijah Moore would have to be the one to go.
Right.
But like, do you do that? That's a little weird. I don't know. I wouldn't.
I don't know about that. Like, you probably would ship more for Rodgers and Lazard, right? but you wouldn't give up Sauce.
No.
I think that they would be stupid if they gave up Sauce.
I mean, Sauce and Garrett Wilson both were rookies last year.
Right,
They're
yeah.
on dirt cheap contracts for how
Right.
good they are. Like, you
But they
have
could
to
still
keep them.
they could still be traded though.
True, but I mean,
You know
like,
what I'm saying? Like if the Packers came out and made some crazy demands,
I think
they
they
were
just,
like,
I think they
sure.
just say Lamar Jackson now plays for the New York Jets, and it would get wild and it would be fun. That would be my thing. Imagine
yeah.
Lamar Jackson with that squad up there. It would be awesome to watch. It'd be more fun, I think, than Rodgers.
I don't know. Lamar Jackson and cold weather and Rodgers and cold weather.
Yeah.
I'm just saying all the young guns around Lamar Jackson, like his
Yeah.
like place, it'd be so fun. Like,
I just think
would they be good? Who knows?
Did you see that report about the Niners going after him? I was like, that would be spicy, but I don't know.
Who did the Niners pick up? Didn't they
Uh,
pick up a quarterback?
Sam Darnold.
Oh yeah. Okay. So,
But I mean, for like
one
a
that
year.
really is going to start.
No. They just need someone just in case those two aren't ready to go.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah,
never know.
it's
you
like,
never know. If Purdy's not healthy, Sam Darnold could actually be the starter for the Niners next year.
yeah. Oh no,
Right.
100% he could
100%.
because
And you know what? He actually looked good down the stretch in Carolina.
well, I think like if you put his numbers up, like he's a mid-tier quarterback. I don't know how much worse or better he is than like Derek Carr or Jimmy Garoppolo. Like
I mean,
They're
you know what?
they're people that aren't going to be in the Hall of Fame.
interchangeable. Yes.
Not-
yeah.
That's it.
Interchangeable arms.
But
with,
I mean, he's a guy. If he played a whole entire season on a good team with weapons and everything,
Mhm.
I could see him having a 4,000 yard, like 25 plus touchdown season. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not out of the realm of possibility. I mean,
not
he
on
was
that
able to-
team. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah, but
on
he
the
was-
Niners,
was-
though,
his
he
stats
might
are-
be okay.
I mean, if I recall, his stats were pretty good for Carolina down the stretch.
Mhm.
Well, that's like I was saying the other day to you guys is I looked up Andy Dalton stats. I don't know why. Like, I don't know why I ever Googled Andy Dalton stats. That's
Mhm.
crazy to me, but they're not bad. He had like 38,000 yards in his career, 250 touchdowns, 150 picks. Like, they're not good, but he's okay. That's
I brought up Sam Darnold's stats right now, and
not as good as
yeah.
you remember, huh?
Well, no. I mean, his top season was with the Jets, where he had 3,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, 13 picks. But last year, he had good stats. He had 11 in the games he started. He was at 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a 93 rating.
So
With
let me.
Carolina. So that was pretty good for,
Yeah, it's not bad.
you know. I mean, limited work, but at the same time, it was Carolina, and he had one receiver.
Let me read to
Yeah.
you this post from NinersNation.com, so I'm not stealing it, but it says 49ers know time is running out on finding out what Lance is. The Purdy injury will likely give the 49ers that time. With Lance entering training camp in the regular season as QB1, Darnold gives them a backup for Lance while Purdy gets healthy, essentially.
So
but
Purdy's the backup to Lance. So
No.
Darnold's just a filler.
No, Darnold is the backup to Lance while they let Purdy heal.
Yeah, Miss Purdy's gonna.
They don't want to rush.
he's gonna
They
be
don't
six-
want to rush Purdy back because he's their QB1.
He's going to be 6. He's going to be minimum of 6 months, but realistically, it's going to be 9+ months for him. So it's going to be middle of the season by the time he's
Yeah.
fully.
It says Darnold was brought in as a security blanket in case something happens to Lance, knock on wood, to give the 49ers a viable option until Purdy's return.
Gotcha.
So it makes sense. You just needed a backup because your backup has to be the starter. And if Trey Lance goes down in week 2 again, like a bag of glass, then then you're screwed because Purdy's not going to be ready.
If
you
he
know what I
walks
mean,
out there and
for-
get to it real quick.
oh man, dude,
Jeez.
Phoenix,
Speaking of,
Phoenix.
Mike White.
I know. I wish they would just start Mike White.
Swear
and-
to God,
and
if
sit-
Mike White comes into Miami and's like, "All right, boys, let's do the thing."
You know what? I could just see him turning into like a Ryan Fitzpatrick across the league.
I could too, especially with Tyreek
I
and
mean-
Jay. He could sling it to those boys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, though. I mean, if you're a decent quarterback, I mean, if he put out, he had some good games, he had some bad games.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you could throw for what? He threw for almost 400 yards that one game, I think. So if you could do that and you play in the Jets, imagine if you have like 10 times the weapons on the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, come on.
Was it you, Roy, that I was talking to about like how Rodgers' season last year didn't warrant him like being MVP, obviously, but the 2 years before that he was. But it's like, okay, Rodgers had nobody on his team. If Rodgers was on the Dolphins last year, he would have been MVP. If he had Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I mean he was
had
an
no
MVP,
one.
and then they traded his best weapon away, and then
Yes.
people were like, "Oh, he's bad now." And it's like,
Yeah,
no, they just didn't replace the weapon.
His
Yeah,
best
like-
weapon last year was Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is true.
if
I mean, hands down by leaps and bounds. And
Mhm.
and then Christian Watson was probably his second best weapon.
Yeah.
And he was out twice with a concussion, had other various injuries, and really only played, I think, 5 or 6 full solid games.
Yeah. What's
I mean,
funny
Aaron
too
Rodgers
is like
did
if you
make
watch
some like uncharacteristic mistakes last year. I remember specifically when he threw the ball to Aiden Hutchinson in the end zone that one time on that pick. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but
yeah,
he made some plays that just did. He looked very uninterested.
Was that the
all
one?
well,
the
that's the
time.
thing.
Was that the one where Hutchinson was pretending like he was lost and like playing safety and goes, "Oh my gosh, look, I'm here."
Yeah, they tried, it was like 4th and goal, and they tried some weird route where the lineman was the guy he was throwing the ball to, and he just like floated out, thought he was wide open, and Hutchinson like acted like he was rushing him and then turned around and like over the shoulder
no,
picked it off.
There was another play where Hutchinson actually, I gotta go back to the YouTube thing, where Hutchinson was like kind of like in the middle of no man's land over by like where the cornerbacks and safeties hang out, and he was just kind of like meandering around and just was looking lost and ended up just moving and right into the path of the ball. I mean, it's just
That
like,
kid's a mess. I don't know. He's a mess.
no, but he did it on purpose though.
Yeah, no, I know.
That was the whole thing, but Aiden Hutchinson is going to be good.
Yes, he is.
He's gonna
I
be
fully
he's gonna
agree
be-
with
he's
that.
gonna be really good.
I agree with that. But let's move on to, we got running backs. I think the free agency talk, we just have to wait it out a little bit. We have to see what else is up people's sleeves because it's just getting started. It's starting to get weird. Like it's one of the weirder off seasons, I think. But we'll definitely
James
see.
Robinson to the Patriots.
Yeah, I saw that. Who else went to the Patriots? So I was thinking Jerry Jeudy might end up there. Didn't they get a receiver there? Oh, Juju went there. So
because Myers, where did Myers go?
Jacoby Myers is a
Raider.
Yes, that is correct. But Juju, whatever wide receiver one Casey had at one point now doesn't exist. Now they're going to rely on old Sky Moore, which is just rough.
I want to know where that $9.6 million in Kansas City is going to go.
I'm thinking it's for Orlando Brown. He still hasn't signed. They need him back really bad. They did get another offensive tackle in free agency though from Jacksonville. So I don't know. Maybe they ship Orlando Brown. I don't know. I don't know what for though. There's no one big enough. Like I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Like that's the thing is I keep thinking the cap spaces could be for Odell, but like you don't have to say anything to trade for Odell. He's not on a team. Like you're just paying him like a random amount. They could pay him like $4 million and he would come there.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that's the deal. I don't know what they're doing with Orlando Brown though. So that could be spicy.
Odell is looking for like top tier money though.
No, he's not. I don't think he is. I think Odell is looking for a top tier team. I don't think he cares that much about the money. He wants to it's Odell Beckham. He wants to make that breakout where he's like needed again and where he's relevant again. He doesn't,
he's got the brand. He's got the brand.
That's what I'm saying. If someone gives him $20 million and they're going to finish last in their division, or if someone gives him $5 million and they're going to be a Super Bowl contender, he's going to take the 5 all day. That's Odell's style. He wants to play to win. Like or at least he's cocky. He wants to be seen. He wants to be on a big flashy team. Like,
but he was great on the Rams. I know.
Yeah, but they paid because they said, "Hey, we're going to buy the whole."
But the only reason he was great on the
NFL.
Rams was because of Cooper Kupp.
No, he was great on the Rams. He was shut up. He was great. I gotta go on this rant.
So-
But he filled a role for the Rams.
We
And
know. We
He,
know.
had to, he filled the role in the slot to take the pressure off of everybody on that team and
Yeah.
stop Stafford from shoving the ball down Cooper Kupp's throat.
You know what next year is going to remind me of? The Detroit Lions are going to remind me of that next year with Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra. It's going to be the same feel.
Yeah.
Jamo's going to fly down the field. Amon-Ra is going to be wide open every single play. That's how
But
it's just how it's going to happen.
Odell didn't
Yeah, I
even
feel
fly
that.
on the field. Odell was like that ball control receiver who just was in the right spot at the right time. And
Well, no, he ran the backs. He ran the defensive backs off Kupp. That was his only job. He was just like, get Cooper Kupp open.
But when
That's what he did.
But but he also caught a lot of those short routes too, that where he just took off, sat, boom, wide open.
I mean, that's also like that's another good thing. Like Odell he thrives as like a wide receiver too for that exact reason. Is if you put him and Cooper Kupp out wide, different sides of the field, the best cornerback is on Cooper Kupp, and then your second best cornerback has to guard OBJ. Like it's not a fair matchup ever. Like no
it's
matter
just
who
like
your
lightning
second best,
down the field.
right? Like no matter who your second best corner is, he's better, and that's what kind of team he's going to hit. Like, I mean, he would be phenomenal on the Bills. Outside of if Diggs and him were on the opposite sides of the field, he would be phenomenal. He wouldn't be as good on the Chiefs, I don't think, unless they put Kelsey and him in the game plan together where they could like get each other open. I don't really know, but there's no other, like your best corner would always guard OBJ against the Chiefs. So I don't really think that's like his landing spot. The Bills would probably be the most like electric, I would say. I mean, the Jets too at this point, they just put every receiver in the whole league on their team and just see what happens.
I know, like, what are you going to do?
Maybe he goes to Tampa with Baker.
Nah.
God, dude, that would be nuts, dude. Now that I'm thinking about that, let's go.
Those three.
No. Can you? I don't.
And Gronk comes back for no reason. Just
for no
shows back up. Baker, Gronk, and OBJ all hanging out.
I'm really sorry, but like now that Brady's not on the Bucks, I could never talk about the Bucks again, and I wouldn't be hurt about it because the Bucks are garbage.
God, Baker to the Bucks. Let's go. All right.
I
anyway.
know. Can you believe
Bucks-
that?
the Bucks-
I mean,
yeah,
he's going to
you
have
have a running
Chris
back-
Godwin, who, like, I'm sorry, at the end of the season last year started to look good again.
Is
and
Mike
Evans-
Evans going to be there still?
Apparently, there's been no like.
Yeah, they need
about him.
They need OBJ back, or they need OBJ there. God, that'd be so good. Anyway, let's go to running backs. I think we'll go like top 5, and then we'll start doing what we did last time, like 5 at a time, and just see.
Yeah, I like that.
Does everyone have it pulled up, or
I'll throw in an OBJ comment for running backs every 5 just to stay on that bandwagon.
no? We're done with that. All right. If anyone has it pulled up, first and easily first, Christian McCaffrey. I don't think there's a chance in the world you take anyone else.
The only concern is injuries.
Sure. I mean, I think going in, you just have to say that's not. I mean, first pick overall, you take him every time, right? There's like no way you don't. I mean, if you're picking running back, I take Justin Jefferson. That's me. Just throw that out there.
No comment.
Just throw
You know
that
what
out
I mean? For me, I would say that it's a toss up between him and Eckler, depending on where Eckler ends up, right? Because like Herbert zeroed in on him.
I think
But,
that's
like,
more.
if
I
he's
think
on
that's more of why I can't even consider Eckler, because I agree with you. If he's on the Chargers still, it's a toss up. But you have no idea
Where he's
coming
gonna
in.
end up.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You have no idea how he's going to look with that new team. It doesn't matter where he ends up.
Well, that's true.
Like
that is true.
Herbert loved him, and that was the development. Now, you take him second or third, possibly. Like we'll get into that in a minute. But like based on where he ends up, but I don't think you ever can take him first, knowing that he doesn't have Herbert.
Yeah.
Or knowing he's not in the same game plan, or like whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Like, could he go to Cincinnati? Sure. Could he be just as good? Probably. But like,
right.
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What up, Shawshank? I saw you there.
What up?
Sorry, I have to pull this up really quick. The funniest thing happened with like Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not going to go back to it all episode or whatever, but the whole text message that he sent to Adam Schefter is hilarious. Did you
Is
guys
it?
see that?
I did
Yeah, well,
not.
I was looking at that before.
It was amazing. So somehow, and he said this on the YouTube thing with dude, but he's like, Adam Schefter texted him and was like, oh, blah blah blah, said something, and Aaron Rodgers just texted him back and he goes, lose my number, good try though.
Oh,
He's like, I don't know how he got my number.
dude,
or
so
what.
I know that I didn't know that was the background, but I know that Barstool already has a shirt with like Aaron Rodgers' face and Schefter's face. It just says "Lose my number, bro" under it.
That's awesome. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
But like, that's another thing that's like so awesome about Rodgers, though, is that he just doesn't care.
No.
He's like, whatever, bro. He's like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to do it on my own time. I'm going to tell who I want to tell. He's friends with Pat McAfee. He wanted to release it on Pat McAfee. That was like his prerogative. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Adam Schefter texting him, trying to like fish for something. You think Aaron Rodgers gives a shit about Adam Schefter? He's like, dude, who are you?
That's like all these tweets going out right now that says like, if I don't hear from Pat McAfee, it don't mean shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yep.
Hell yeah. I don't know. Anyway, sorry. I got sidetracked.
Super good. But Christian McCaffrey deservingly in the number 1 spot. I don't really think you take anyone else there. Whatever. Number 2 on the list is Eckler.
Yeah.
And let's
could
not,
Eckler go that he would be used proficiently?
Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati is the main one that I think of right out of the gate where he would be incredibly hard to deal with because it sort of reminds me of the Chargers situation, but everything's better. Burrow is better than Herbert, and the 2 receivers you have are elite compared to Williams and Keenan Allen. Like both Keenan Allen and Williams are both great receivers, but you take that whole game plan and you soup it up, and then put him in there.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean,
you're trying to double cover Chase. You have a man coverage on Higgins and like
someone on Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, someone on Tyler Boyd, and Eckler's just wandering around in the backyard or in the backfield, picking up 10 yards every carry.
Maybe that's why Diggs restructured, and maybe he'll go to Buffalo.
See, that also would be cool. Crazy.
Yes. I was thinking, so I don't know. I was just thinking off the top of my head, and I know they have somebody, but he would be really good in Seattle too.
No, Kenneth Walker's the man there.
I know Kenneth Walker's the man, but like,
and he could be a top 5 easily.
Yeah, I don't think that's another thing I think is I don't think Eckler there's not a dream of him going anywhere where he's not clear running back 1. I don't think he's going to share the backfield. Yeah. Also, Cincinnati is just blatantly throwing their running backs away. Yeah. That's why I think Eckler could go there.
Eckler's the closest thing to what Gurley and LaDainian and those guys were as far as a running and pass catching running back. I mean, he's a 2,000-yard guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is. He's like, if you look at his stats and look at his per game, just per game stats, he's right up there with the elite pass catching running backs, elite running backs of all time.
Was he undrafted? Was he undrafted or just drafted super late? He was either undrafted or drafted super late. They got him for super cheap. So he's been trying to get paid his whole career and he can't. So he's not going to get paid this time either. They'll pick him up probably for $8 million a year, $10 million a year, something like that. If anyone pays more than that, then they are overpaying.
He was undrafted out of Western Colorado.
Yeah. See, so when any player in the NFL goes undrafted, they're basically broke their whole career, and that's Eckler. So he's just trying to get paid, essentially. And the Bengals are not the team that are going to pay him because they don't have the money to be like, oh, sure, we'll pay Austin Eckler, this undrafted guy, when we have 3 all-stars on our team that have to get paid. Because if they don't pay at least 2 of them, like, they want to keep Jamar Chase and Burrow together as long as possible. Higgins is probably a cut next year.
The thing with me about Eckler is, he wants to get paid, but like, let's see what they're pulling off of these running backs leaving, because I don't see a better fit. I mean, the only thing, look at last year when Cincinnati lost to Kansas City, right? That was the game they lost and knocked them out. What is their one flaw? Well,
they have 0 run game.
They have the whole defense just run at Burrow. And say, do something about it. Well, Eckler is the exact fix to that. He can go out in the flat, catch a little, if he's under pressure, catch a 2-yard pass, turn it to 15.
Yeah.
All day. Where you can't just load up and run at him anymore. You have to consider, like, because he has to wait for Jamar Chase and Higgins to get open. If they don't, he gets sacked. Like, that's just how it is. So
Yeah.
they can fix that. But yeah, I could see him going somewhere where he's the clear number one. I don't think he splits carries much. He never has. I don't think that's his style. I think you're looking at somewhere. Buffalo would be a great pick. I mean, you would split a little bit with James Cook, who, by the way, I think is going to be really good. But yeah. I mean, he's not that all down back. He's definitely like a third down back. So we'll see. Next, Jonathan
Who is
Taylor.
next?
He could depend. It depends on the quarterback there.
I was about to say they're going to get one of the elite quarterbacks. Actually, maybe not anymore because that stupid trade. What they fall to third best quarterback now, right? Houston, Carolina get 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he would be, even if the talent doesn't show right away, I think he'd be incredible if Anthony Richardson was there. I think you have to give him someone that is mobile and can, like, for instance, when Matt Ryan went to hand the ball to Jonathan Taylor, you know damn well he wasn't going to pull it back out. You know that wasn't going to happen, right? So, like, as soon as you saw the motion, you hit him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if you put someone like Anthony Richardson back there and they run some kind of like zone read, maybe. But
one of the two of them is going 72 yards.
I don't think
Lamar to the Colts. Lamar to the Colts.
Hey, that would be good.
That would be crazy with especially with Taylor and Pittman. I mean,
Taylor and Pittman.
Pittman's great.
I think they have a ton of money too.
So just because for not skipping down the list to saying who should be above, I don't like Jonathan Taylor at 3. I think that's too high.
Way too high.
Talent wise, yes, but realistically, real world, probably a little high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next is Saquon.
He's got the talent to be there, but he also
I think
he had 4 games where he wore down for 4 games and they had to take the carries back. If he's fully healthy, he can do that.
I like Saquon if they continue to build around him and Daniel Jones. They got Waller, huge pickup. I think Waller is going to be nuts on that team. He was always overlooked by one person on the Raiders, whether it be Hunter Renfrow 1 year, Devontae Adams last year. Just he's always almost there. He'll be the clear-cut best athlete in the throwing game.
If he's healthy, he's a freak.
Yeah. So I could see that helping Saquon a lot.
Having someone to throw to.
They re-signed Sterling Shepard.
I'm going to say that's also too high for me. I think Saquon is around 2 running back. And what up, Long Island? I think Saquon's like early round 2 running back. I don't like him that high.
I think he's going to wear down a little bit, and he's going to have that stretch like he did last year. We had the 4 games where I think he averaged like 38 yards a game rushing, where they're going to have to,
he does catch a lot of passes. We're talking PPR too, so he does catch a lot of balls. I'll give him that.
He's got to keep those legs. You got to keep those legs healthy.
He's too inconsistent.
You can't overwork him multiple weeks in a row and expect him to produce.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't have the list in front of me, but how is Henry not above both of those guys?
We're getting there, let's talk about it when we get there. But I agree. Next, Kenneth Walker. I would put Kenneth Walker 3rd.
He could be. Yeah,
I like Kenneth Walker above Jonathan Taylor and Saquon.
Elusiveness and that explosion that especially in a wide open offense.
Well, he's the guy that, you have Geno Smith, not bashing Geno Smith, but Kenneth Walker's the kind of guy I think coming out of next year, they saw his talent, they saw what he can do. He's going to turn into a similar Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Nick Chubb, where he gets the ball all the time. Like, I think they're just going to feed it to him 30, 35 times a game. And it's
Yeah,
going to
so
be
it's
really
a
hard to
typical
deal with.
Seattle. It's a typical Seattle running back that gets injured halfway through the season because they work him like a horse.
Unless he's Marshawn.
Yeah, I mean, Marshawn didn't get hit, but like Penny, he just turns into Penny.
No,
Where did Penny go? Penny went somewhere, didn't he?
Yeah, he went. Oh my God, I don't know.
He just got traded to somebody.
I was gonna say the Saints, but it's
Denver.
Not them.
No, Denver. Denver got P. Ryan.
Penny went to the Eagles.
Ooh,
yeah,
that could get spicy.
Yeah.
Okay, regardless.
I was surprised by that.
We're getting off track. Okay, I think Kenneth Walker.
Rashad Penny made me want to buy his legendary because it's only like $400 right now. Like, and it used to be like $1,200.
I think Kenneth Walker belongs in the 3-4 range.
He could
just pure workhorse.
He's got the talent to do it.
Yeah. And then the next three are very, very similar to me. And I think they all, so if it were my list, I'm not going to name them yet. If it were my list, it'd go McCaffrey, Eckler, Kenneth Walker, and then these three up above Jonathan Taylor and Saquon.
Go for it.
And that's Chubb. Incredible. I mean, like, absolutely incredible talent.
Just got in his way because they for some reason they had to give the ball to Hunt, which I never understood because Chubb is just hand the ball to him and he goes.
I watched 2 games last year of them play. I remember specifically both times exactly the same feeling you had. Every time they put Kareem Hunt in the backfield and handed him the ball, I was like, why just isn't that Nick Chubb? Like, why do you do that? It makes no sense. There's no upside. Like, if he's in there to like go out on a route, sure, that's a different story. But they were just handing it to him.
Second half when you're getting blown out and you want to save Chubb, or it's third down, or second and like 19, go for it.
Sure.
Otherwise, hand the ball to Chubb.
Right. The next one is Derrick Henry, which in no way. All right. So last year, let's talk about this. The list was very similar last year, by the way. Kenneth Walker wasn't there, but everyone else was about in the same order. I think Jonathan Taylor was up at 1. Christian McCaffrey was there. Eckler was there. Saquon was there. They were all right there.
And remember, this is PPR and non-dynasty.
I took Derrick Henry in both of my leagues with my first pick, both of them. And everyone was like, you reached so high. Like, and then he proceeded to go bonkers in fantasy like he does every single year. And I don't understand why people still sleep on that guy. Tennessee has no other game plan.
No.
None. It's give the ball to Henry 500 times.
He wears you down. In a bad game for him, he's going to get you 8 to 10 points.
I mean, at very worst. And that's if they're beat by 40 points and they have to throw the ball a bunch of times. And still, he catches 8 of those passes. Like, it's ridiculous. And
I was going to say, he's pretty good at catching the ball, too.
He's gotten better at catching over the years.
Yeah, I definitely see him being, I mean, like I said, I would shift all those players up. He would go above Chubb, and then right below him is Josh Jacobs. I feel he's very similar to those backs. Is like huge workhorse, tons of yards. But I think Henry's better than him too. I don't know.
The only thing that kills him is the team.
Who, Jacobs?
No, Henry.
No, but that helps in fantasy terms.
Not yes and no.
I mean, he's their only option.
True, but if he had a better team that opened it up and there was actually a threat, imagine him running through holes.
I mean, yeah, but he would get half the carries. It's like a lose-win. I see what you're saying for sure, but
you need
they hand it to him on 3rd and 8 sometimes because they don't have another option.
How many games did Tannehill play last year?
I don't know. Half of them.
Yeah, well, the other half of the games he's playing with people. He's playing with people who can't pass, and they got
Tannehill can't pass.
Well, at least he's a viable threat to throw the ball.
I mean, that is true. Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like the Titans are a non-issue, and he gets penalized a lot because of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If that makes any sense.
Does he ever go anywhere else and become relevant?
He's more amazing because he's on the Titans.
Yeah. Monkey. Yeah. What up?
That's the problem is like his whole career was wasted.
His whole career.
And what's insane about that too is if he was on a good team, like, okay, say he wasn't on a team that was winning Super Bowls constantly, but he went to like Dallas is a good example, I think. Put him on Dallas instead of Zeke. They have a Super Bowl. They have a Super Bowl ring with him.
He's Emmitt Smith.
No, I'm saying they have a Super Bowl ring with him. Like, that is a fact. They would win a Super Bowl with Derrick Henry.
If he goes to Dallas, he's literally the reincarnation of Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, but I mean, like, his whole career was wasted, and you could argue on a good team that he could have been one of the best running backs ever in the NFL.
I was gonna say, is there some reason that he can't go somewhere else and just be amazing?
He's too old. That's why.
I understand.
He is old.
I understand that, but like, you don't think he has like 1 or 2 good years back? Like,
how old
let's
is he?
put
32
Let's put Derrick
something?
Henry
No,
on the
he's not.
Jets.
He's not
Let's
that
just stack the Jets. OBJ,
No, you got Brees Hall. He's good enough.
Rodgers. Who cares? Brees Hall's hurt.
Yeah.
old. Brees Hall is also could be top 5 on that list.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, but he's hurt. So in the meantime,
Derrick Henry's 29.
yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
he's still
not
good.
dead.
He's good.
Yeah, he's fine. Like, he's got 2 years in him, just like
I can
Rodgers.
guarantee you he's better than Zeke right now.
Oh hell yeah!
And he just turned 29.
Did he?
In
See,
January.
I'm taking Henry all day over those guys. Like, except for maybe Christian McCaffrey now, because just Christian
254
McCaffrey.
pounds, running a 4.5. Still.
Yeah, I mean, the dude is just insane. He's one of oh god, Monkey. It would be insane.
Yeah.
Like, unstoppable. And with their defense,
Yeah.
I mean, like, talk about the Rams selling everything, like selling.
And I
the
will give
farm for a
credit. I will
Super
give
Bowl.
it credit to Aaron Rodgers too. Is look at Aaron Jones. Without Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones is going to be garbage. I mean,
Dude, the whole team is going to be garbage.
like, he made Aaron Jones a threat. Now, if he had the threat to throw to people like Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore on the edges, and then had Henry in the backfield, yeah, he would be terrifying. It would be terrifying.
I got a dumb question.
Well, let's
for
just
you.
think about. Let's just think about.
Well,
when
Henry's not
Brees
going
Hall
anywhere.
does
That's the
come out. Yeah,
problem.
like Brees Hall. Yeah, he's. Well, that's not true. They did say that they were open to it because they're in a complete rebuild. They said that, I mean, with Tannehill, they're not going to try and build around Tannehill. They're not going to build around Henry, who's 29 years old. Like, it's just not going to happen. So if they went full crazy rebuild, then yeah, they would ship him for like 2 first-rounders, because that's what he'd be worth.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just looking at Derrick Henry, and he's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons. 2, 4, 7 seasons. He's going to have 10,000 yards. If he stays healthy next year, there's an outside chance of 10,000 yards by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Is he a Hall of Famer? He's going to
Yes.
he's
Of
gonna have
course.
Easily.
Yeah.
Well,
Derrick
here's the
Henry's
thing,
a Hall of
but
Famer.
Here's the other thing, though. He had his first 1,000-yard season, his 3rd season in the league, because that's finally when he broke 200 carries. But then he had 1,500 yards, 2,000 yards, averaging over 5 yards a rush each season. Then he got injured last year and had just under 1,000. He had 1,500 yards last year, but he also had 30. He also doubled his receptions and upped his touchdowns. So
Yeah.
but dude, oh my gosh, I didn't realize like
So here's to give you context of that. He still has probably
two or three
three good years after
Two-
this one.
two, he's got one and a half to 2 more elite years, and then he's got that down.
2 or
that-
3
that
like
down.
trade around to a couple teams, play some ball kind of years. Right.
Yeah,
Marshall
Well,
Faulk had 12,000 yards in his career, 10th all time. Henry will run that down. He'll be top 10 by the end of his career. He's a Hall of Famer 2 years ago.
Yeah.
and he's got 78 touchdowns too. And here's the thing, though, he didn't play a full season until his 4th season in the league. He
Yeah.
played half. He got 110 carries his rookie year, 176 his second year, 215 his 3rd year, and didn't crack 300 until his 4th year.
Yeah.
He doesn't have much wear and tear on him either.
No. Can
So Monkey, we went over Eckler before you got in. I think Eckler is a huge question mark. This list has him as the 2nd best running back to take. First of all, it depends where he goes, and then if he just has the connection like he did with Herbert, I can never see taking him as the 2nd back. There's like no way in my mind. Like, I think it's super risky. I think he's good, but he could be completely garbage in a new system that doesn't utilize him right, I think. So You just have to see.
Poor San Diego. If they lose Eckler, I mean, they're boned.
Yeah, Los Angeles now, but
Whatever.
previously San
Yeah,
Diego.
I'm sorry. You're
All
right.
right, so let's keep going.
San Diego's problem is I think their coaching is just cursed.
Yeah,
Let's keep going. We got
fine.
Travis Etienne
He's
at,
good.
at 9. I think that's about right.
He could be. He could be.
He has the
Another
upside
one.
of like right in the 5-6 range, I think.
He
Mhm.
can be. He can be an elite running back at some point.
Yep. I think he's good. He's really young. I think he has the ability. It just I don't know. He's young. That's it. I think he'll get there. He just hasn't shown that like it factor yet, but he's definitely good.
But as Lawrence grows, though, I think that'll help him too.
Yeah,
San
100%.
Diego, Oakland, and St. Louis. Yeah, I agree with that.
And then
It just means we're old, bro.
next blows my mind at 10, and I don't think he deserves a top 20 spot. And it's Ramondre Stevenson.
I'm gonna throw my keyboard right now. Are you serious? I don't have the list in front of me, but that's horrible.
He's at 10.
You
That's
know what?
awful.
Though?
10th.
You know
Wow.
what though? Think about the Patriots. Is it because of him and his talent, or is it because of the Patriots?
It doesn't
The
matter.
Patriots, if anything, he should be lower because the Patriots brought in Bill O'Brien, and they're going to be so much more like run and gun than they were. Mac Jones is going to be wide open. They're
Where's
gonna let him
Pollard
rip.
on this list?
Pollard's coming, and he's
Yep.
way too low right now. I think this was made before the
Zeke. I mean, it makes
news.
sense.
No,
but still.
actually, this was updated this
Oh
morning.
yeah, it does show Zeke down as a free agent. So
Yep.
that's
So,
even crazier to me.
Yeah, but you know what?
Well, that makes
If
that
I
makes
was
these
the
rank- that makes
Cowboys,
these
if I
rankings-
was the Cowboys and I was Jerry Jones, I would ship Pollard to the Titans for Derrick Henry, and I would go for it, bro.
You should.
Like,
You would have.
I
What, this would be the look, right? We have Dak. We have CeeDee Lamb. We have Derrick Henry. We have the elite defense, and we have Odell Beckham Jr.
Ooh,
at Dallas.
oh man, that is sexy right there.
And I mean,
No,
that's
the-
talk about the
the only-
most
the only
swagged
thing
out team
Yeah,
you've ever
there's one
seen.
problem.
Can you
with that.
imagine CeeDee
Trayvon
Lamb?
Diggs, Micah, dude.
Oh god.
There's one problem with that whole thing. and
Yeah,
it's
they
Dak.
win 18 Super Bowls in a row. Just giant problem.
Dak is the problem.
No, not in that system,
I
dude.
called it
If
last
Dak-
year. The dude
No,
just
he
can't
is a
play-
choke artist. He's a choke artist, but
can't
that's
play
okay.
back-to-back good games.
That's okay.
He throws the ball to the wrong team.
No, yeah, I guess that is a problem. They would never lose enough games to draft a quarterback, so they would just have to deal with
Yeah.
it. But no, that would be the coolest team. It'd be
would
like the Michael Irvin squad back in the day.
Yeah, it would. I mean, Phoenix already said it. Derrick Henry on another team is Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
If
So-
you give him an elite offense and a good offensive line, and he's Emmitt Smith. He just
Yeah.
goes forward and into the end zone.
Mhm.
All right,
I
so
mean,
we're gonna go 5 at a time. We're gonna quick
Go.
fire them. You take. Everyone goes around and just says the one they're taking out of those 5. Okay, let's
Like
start.
it.
Well, we're going back to.
Hold on, let
Ramondre.
me say something really quick though. Monkey Man, I'm with you. I don't like the Packers to begin with, but I love Aaron Rodgers, as you can see from right here above my head. But I'm now if the Jet, I'm just all in on the Jets, dude. They're gonna sweep next year.
I hate the fact that I love Aaron Rodgers. He's going to the Jets. I'm going to have to hate him as a Dolphin fan.
Yeah, you are. I
It's,
don't
Oh.
know.
it's going to suck because I love Aaron Rodgers.
The
Yeah.
Bengals just got Orlando Brown.
So I guess you're wrong. It's
$64 million
OBJ going to Kansas City.
Maybe that's what that cap. That's huge. That is huge. He got all right. So here's the. Let's see it. Bengals get him for 4 years, $64 million.
Well, at least at least one person can block for Burrow.
So is that why they restructured his deal? Do they get Odell Beckham Jr. and that's why they got rid of Juju?
Could be.
I don't
That's a
know.
lot of money.
That's a lot of money. He's the best offensive tackle in the league, though.
Yeah, no, I'm not negating it. I'm just saying that's a lot of
But
money.
Burrow needs someone to
That-
protect him because he gets dumped on his ass more than
Dude,
any
the
quarterback.
Bengals just spent $64 million on a tackle, and they're gonna lose. They're gonna.
You know what though? Honestly,
They're
have
they're
the
go- no, they're
they
gonna
have the top
lose.
two receivers. You know what? If you could pull some mid-round draft picks, you can get a running back.
They're
That's
gonna lose Higgins though too if they can't pay him.
they have him under contract for another year. They don't
Yeah,
have to
for
worry
another
about
Yeah.
year. I know. So it's like this year or bust.
Brown's full contract potential is over $90 million. My Lord.
That's called protecting your main
He
asset.
got that
It
bag,
is.
boy.
It is
64
million
Fully
guaranteed.
guaranteed. Oh my
Oof.
God.
Man, that's rough. I
We
mean,
go in Sizzler. We go. Sorry.
That's wild. All right, so let's go 5 at a time. Let's go Brees Hall,
God.
Najee Harris, Tony Pollard, DeAndre Swift, Joe Mixon.
Get DeAndre Swift out of there.
I was gonna say I
I don't think it's a
take
question in the
Swift.
world that it's not Tony Pollard.
Yeah. I
mean,
just, you know
I
what?
love Brees Hall. Najee's a workhorse, but Tony Pollard on his own is going to be a monster.
How
He's
big
got,
is
he's
Tony
got the most
Pollard?
upside
though?
potential of all of them.
He's smaller, but I mean,
He's tiny.
But
is what I'm saying.
Najee, I could see being that
He's not the workhorse down back that Zeke is. So what are they going to do? They're going to feed him over and over again, and he's going to get pummeled.
no, they'll just have a different game plan. Most likely, they'll have
Yeah.
more of that like West Coast, like him come out of the back. It'll look more like
swing.
more like Eckler.
Yeah,
That, like, style.
That's good. That's a good point.
A lot of wheel routes, and I
Yeah.
mean it's going to be because some different stuff for Pollard because you can't just pound him up the middle the whole time.
So, yeah, I think Pollard. Anybody going with anything different?
No, I think you have. To
I just think you got to get Swift out of there and drop him down, especially now that they got Montgomery down into like the 20s.
I don't know. Swift always gets hurt, but his upside is still crazy.
If you want to go talent wise, Swift is probably top 5 in the league talent wise, but his injuries are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
He can't stay healthy. Like I would put him in the top 5 overall potential and talent easily. He's a talk about a freak at running back.
Yeah.
That is the definition of freak. But at the same time, he what does he play? 33% of the games?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true. So these next five stun me. Absolutely
Stunned.
just stunning.
I'm shook.
All right,
These are
Aaron
the top 12
Jones.
These are the top 12 pros.
You know, they did Jamal Williams dirty. They only gave him $12 million for 3 years. Whatever. Anyways, sorry. Go ahead.
Aaron Jones, fine. Dalvin Cook at 17. I don't care who's below him. I don't think you're not taking Dalvin Cook.
Well, here's the thing: they signed
17?
Madison, and there's something wrong with
Who?
Dalvin Cook. They re-signed Minnesota re-signed Madison because there's something wrong with Dalvin Cook. There's some injury problem they're not letting anybody know about. That's what the news out of Minnesota. There's something that's been wrong with Dalvin Cook for the last year, and it's been on the down low. And that's why they re-signed Madison, and he stayed. Why would Madison stay if there wasn't something wrong with Cook?
I
When
mean,
could've
unless he
gone
has one of
somewhere
his legs
Money.
amputated, he's better than 17th.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's Aaron Jones, Dalvin
Wasn't he
Cook,
like number 4 last year?
at least top 5. Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's something wrong with Dalvin Cook.
I mean, you could be right. I'm just saying, like, that's a pretty drastic drop.
Yeah. So all right. Anyway, we got Aaron Jones, Dalvin Cook, Javonte Williams, Damian Pierce, J.K. Dobbins.
I
know
love
who I'm
JK.
taking.
I love JK if he's healthy.
So we're assuming all 5 of these are healthy, right? So
Yeah.
obviously, if they're all completely healthy, it's Dalvin Cook. Now, if
Yeah.
there's something not right, sure.
Yeah,
I'm
Dalvin-
taking Javonte Williams if they're all healthy. That's me there.
What?
I don't know.
What is that? Monkey, what are you talking about?
You saying he's on steroids?
Who knows?
Yeah.
So
I would take Javonte, but I would also risk it for Damian Pierce.
Wait a second. Hold on. You like Damian Pierce?
Yeah.
I was
You wanna know
Damian
why?
Pierce and saying that I like
I sincerely do want to know why. Yes, because I
Why?
don't see a chance in the world Damian Pierce has like over 400 yards.
I just think because of D'Amico Ryans, I think it's going to change.
I see Damian Pierce, if he stays healthy, he's 1,000+ yard back with 10 touchdowns easily.
Yeah.
Well, they have a new quarterback. Does that help?
Or
does that
Who's their
hurt?
quarterback again?
It's going to be either CJ Stroud or Bryce Young.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So you got a new quarterback, top 2 pick, one of the two, whoever one you want, and you had D'Amico Ryans.
Well, I called it in one of our earlier episodes that I saw next year Damian Pierce to be 1150 and 10 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's what I saw him as.
I don't see anything stopping that from happening.
I just see them loading the box with 400 people because I can't name one Houston receiver. Can anyone? Does anyone know who plays for Houston that catches the ball?
He got cut, Brandon Cooks.
Right. So they're going to put 8 people in the box with a rookie and just load it up and say throw everyone one-on-one on the edge and deal with it.
I mean, you got to imagine that they're probably going to pick up all rookie wide receivers in the draft after they get their quarterback. And then.
But, I mean, there aren't any that are going to be one-on-oneable. There's 2, and they're going to be gone. There's 2 total that are, like, scary.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't see them not saying, okay, Pierce is the only true weapon you have. I'm betting against the Texans every game. Yes, fact. There's no way. I mean, that is a fact.
You're biased, bro. You're biased. You don't count like as like betting against the Texans. Of course you're going to bet against the Texans. His PFP is Micah.
Actually, there's 3 okay wide receivers, but I don't think any of them stick around for the whole wraparound to the next round. Like, I just don't see it happening. You have JSN who's going to go like 15th-ish. The dude from TCU, and then Jordan Addison, they're all first rounders.
Okay, so if anything about what's coming out of the draft is correct, if they take one of the 4, because who knows what they think? We know what like scouting reports say or whatever, but who knows what their front office is thinking?
Well, they said they don't want Anthony Richardson.
They did say that?
They did. So the only people that want Anthony Richardson right now are potentially Carolina at first, and then the Raiders have shown like direct interest in him before the trade and stuff all happened.
He's a total Raider.
So Houston was in as Bryce Young was their pick before the trade, and then they said that it would be between Young and Stroud, whoever Carolina did
CJ Stroud.
It's going to be CJ Stroud, most likely.
Okay.
Yes.
You take Stroud. You maybe take some tackles. Like, are there any tackles available there? What's their line look like?
I mean, I don't think that matters, right? I think you have to get them a weapon. Their offensive line has to be better than their receiving core.
Yeah.
I mean, it just has to be. There's no way.
Well, because the guy that they draft is going to start.
I hear Galladay is free.
Right. No, I was literally about to say, you can name any team in the league right now. You can go around to the other 31 and I can name one receiver that plays for them. I legitimately can't name one for Houston.
Well, now you have me.
No one knows.
Oh my God.
Is it going to be Braxton Berrios, receiver 1 out there? Like, he's not even on their team yet, but he could be.
Brandon Cooks, John Mechie, Philip Dorsett, Robert Woods.
Mechie
These are all old.
No, Mechie can't play. Mechie was a rookie last year, but got leukemia. He came out of Alabama and just randomly said he couldn't play. So that lost. He was a first-round pick last year and just went away. Couldn't play.
Mechie's gone.
I don't think he can come back this year.
Nico Collins and Chris Moore. Because Brandon Cooks is Brandon Cooks still on the team? I thought he left.
If Brandon Cooks is there, then he's definitely receiver 1.
Yeah,
I've heard of him.
100%.
Collins is
on April 7th, 2022. Despite multiple trade rumors, Cooks signed a 2-year contract extensions with the Texans worth $40 million.
Okay, so they got a number 1 receiver.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
but he's a perennial 1,000-yard guy too, and he's
Nico Collins was that guy out of Michigan, right?
Yeah, Nico Collins is actually a decent receiver.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know. Okay. I'm just saying I'm not on Shawshank's level thinking that I'm going to bet against the Texans every time when they get a weapon like CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. Like, why would you? At that point, it's irresponsible. It's irresponsible for a team if they are that bad to give them someone good like that. It's just It makes no sense to me, but it's just the way the draft is. I mean,
Yeah, to me, Bryce Young's one of my favorite players in college ever, and I love watching him, and he's going to be great in the pros. He is just absolutely garbage if he goes to Houston next year, like a horrible, and I hate it. It'll be the worst thing to watch. Like you'll see the talent just go away because he will have no one to throw the ball to. That's just me.
But here's the
no,
funny thing.
I'm with you. I agree.
could see Stroud doing a lot better in Houston.
Me too.
He'll just take the ball and just throw it deep downfield.
Yeah, Stroud definitely. So Bryce Young's built, and I mean, I'm not saying he has to have this to win, but he's definitely built on having people that can run solid routes and be like separated. Where Stroud can, like Phoenix said, Stroud can just launch the ball and end up being accurate. Bryce is built for a system that is running. It's like on all cylinders, and then he can manage it insanely well.
He could be a poor man's Mahomes.
I think Bryce Young can be as scary as Mahomes,
as elusive, and can make things happen, kind of like Mahomes, because that's what he like. Like we talk about it all the time. He's got that it factor, and he's got that magic about him, where you could chase him around the backfield for 5 seconds, and he's gonna find the open guy at some point.
Yep.
But he also needs smart receivers who come back and help their quarterback.
Yeah, he needs receivers.
I don't see that in Houston.
No.
Long Island, I'm pretty sure we're going to do tight ends next.
Yeah, we'll probably focus a good bit on free agency and then tight ends, since there's only like 7 tight ends we're talking about most likely. But we'll definitely be focusing a good bit on free agency news and then tight ends as well. Yeah. All right, so getting a little off track. Let's go back to the list. We got Cam Akers. Ooh. Alvin Kamara, James Conner, Rachaad White, and David Montgomery.
Well, with Fournette getting canned, Rachaad White should get a chance.
I like. I think I'd take David Montgomery there. If that was my list.
I mean, Cam Akers had averaged 105 yards his last 3 games of the season last year, and looked like the Cam Akers that he should have been for the last 3 years.
Ezekiel Elliott has interest already.
From who?
Tampa.
Oh, that'd be wild.
Yeah.
What, are they just going to stack that team just very slowly without anyone catching on to what's going on and just end up with a star-studded team over there?
Can you
with
imagine?
Baker at the helm?
You're going to have Baker, Zeke, Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans against the Panthers and whatever the hell they got going on over there, and the Falcons with whatever the hell they have going on over there, and what's the other
Saints?
Team? The Saints, which on paper ideally looks good, but we already know what the hype train for Carr did for the Raiders last year with the best receiver in the league. So I'm not really that concerned about the Saints. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you put Baker with a running back like Zeke who can just ground and pound it all day. I mean, like Fournette.
Evans. I want to see Baker with Evans.
Yeah, of course. But like, we all know that the O line for the Bucs is the only reason that Tom Brady is alive.
Well,
I mean,
Baker loved Chubb too. He loved that style.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm just saying that could be dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that could be a potential pickup.
Who doesn't love Baker Mayfield?
I love Baker Mayfield, dude.
I do.
I love that guy.
He's a guy you want to root for, and you're just like, dude, I want to drink a beer with you, and I want you to do well. Let's go.
Yeah, and then he gets wasted.
So let's just go down, I guess. Now,
where's DeAndre Hopkins gonna go?
That's an interesting one.
I will keep saying.
I thought he was going to go to the Patriots.
I did too.
So they made it seem like that, but like, I don't think he wants to. You know what I mean? Like, who wants to go to the Patriots?
Well, with news we learned from tonight, where it says Bengals side star offensive tackle Brown for way too much money. With that news right there, Mahomes restructuring his contract, and Juju Smith-Schuster going to the Patriots, some receiver is going there. They have an idea of it. So it's going to be D-Hop, OBJ, Jerry Jeudy apparently was on the docket to be traded.
Why did they sign a Menahue? That's what I want to know.
Who, the
But
Chiefs?
whatever. Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, I thought their D-line was fine, but
Really?
apparently that's not
20 million? 20 million?
for
That's
2
not-
years, though. I mean, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not like something. If they were trying to free up cap space, paying $20 million.
Well, I mean, obviously they had plans to get rid of Orlando Brown. That's like a massive chunk of cap space.
yeah, that's true.
So
It says Chiefs and Patriots are the number one landing spot for Hopkins still.
yeah, Chiefs. Well, I mean, the Chiefs now are going to be the prime time for any receiver. They literally don't have a wide receiver one, and they have the best quarterback in the league.
Imagine a veteran like Hopkins who catches everything thrown to him, runs great routes with Mahomes.
I could see them going as far as getting like Hopkins and Judy, and just packing that offense back up.
Damn.
And then, because I mean, how long is Kelsey realistically there for?
2 more years.
Not a long time.
And they got
Only
his
because
clone-
he doesn't want to. I don't think he's going to get hurt or anything, or not want to not
But
be
they have his
able to
clone
play. I
behind
just
him, though.
don't see him wanting to stay in the league that old.
they have his clone behind him, backing him up.
Hey, what?
They have his clone backing him up.
They're gonna
too.
replace Blake Bell, dude. That guy is useless.
Not Blake
No, you're talking about
Noah Gray, whatever.
yeah,
same
Noah Gray.
same thing.
Noah
Same
Gray.
Bell.
guy.
Noah,
Who cares?
Noah Gray is.
I think Blake Bell was better. He was on their team for a little while.
Hopkins with
Didn't-
Mahomes
didn't
would be
Blake Bell play
awesome.
Quarterback for Oklahoma too.
Huh?
Did Blake Bell play for Oklahoma?
Blake Bell was Baker's tight end.
Y'all did he also line up a quarterback a couple times?
Maybe. Yeah. But he was on the same team as Baker.
Hmm.
Yeah, they were good. So we're gonna go down the list now, and I'm not gonna stop at 5. We're just gonna say if they're too low at this point, right?
for
So
it.
we have Tyler Algier for Atlanta.
Yes.
Fine.
No, I think he could be a lot better.
I think he could too, but I mean, they're going to be so behind
But-
constantly.
But he had 1,000 yards and he wasn't even the number one back.
I mean, he's still not the number one back.
But still, if they gave him the ball more, I think he could have done a lot more.
I think he's fine, but I don't think him being I mean, they're going to be having to throw the ball 40 times a game. Like, there's no way they don't.
I think he's good. I think he's good and got talent though.
Yeah. You have Miles Sanders, who I think goes way up on the list now that he's at Carolina. I don't think they have another option.
Yeah, but he also could go to Carolina and just die.
Yeah, it's true. James Cook at Buffalo.
I love Cook. I think
I do too.
He's got some great potential, but he's also got the potential to get the rock no more than 10 times a game, like every starter in Buffalo.
I think he's very similar to he could be as good as Kamara was in his good years.
If
He plays
they
the
gave
exact
him-
same
if
style of ball.
They gave him the ball though.
Right. If they do. If they yeah.
Supposedly it's because he doesn't grasp their offense though.
I don't know. That comes with years though. He'll be all right. Pacheco at 29.
That's a
Pacheco
little-
runs hard.
Yeah, he does.
That dude runs hard. I think that's too low. I think without the elite wide receiver talent at Kansas City, I think they have to lean on him a little bit. And he's the clear cut running back one now. So I think that's too low.
If he gets 15 carries a game, then I'd put him up on that list.
Yeah. Then you have a bunch of random people all the way down. I do think the one that's insanely too low is Jamal Williams is at 38th.
Jamal Williams is mad disrespect.
I think he goes up to especially if Kamara gets in some nonsense like we think he might. I could see. Oh, Brian Robinson also. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Out of Washington. Yeah, he
He's
got
completely-
shot and it didn't even matter.
He
Dude,
just consistently another one who just goes forward.
Yep. Yeah, Brian Robinson's way too low.
There's nothing really flashy about him though, but he just is consistent.
Another free agent. What do we think about Jerick McKinnon? Does he need to be re-signed? He seemed important in that offense.
flash in the pan? I just
He
don't
can-
see him being great third. I think he'd be a great third down back, and definitely be someone who can make an impact on the right team. But otherwise, he's got to find a right landing spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sold on him. I don't think he'll be relevant.
They have Bijan Robinson higher than Zeke.
Well, Zeke could be done.
Ballsy.
People really like him though.
They also have Bijan Robinson higher than Jamal Williams.
Again, Jamal
Little
Williams
crazy.
hasn't really done anything.
Except score a shit ton of touchdowns last year.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's. I don't know. He's not like shiny and new, and he's not old and used up like Zeke. So you're going to put the new prospect above both of them.
Well, not only that, but like, so Jahmyr Gibbs is down at 55. Bijan Robinson's around the 40 range. That drastically goes up or down depending on where they land, right?
Yeah.
So like if Bijan Robinson lands at somewhere where he could just be the running back one, he could go up to like potentially like 10th really quickly or down to 60th really quickly. Like you'd have no idea. Do you retire if you're Zeke? 16 mil parting gift and all that money from the past?
Not get hit anymore.
I don't know. I think Zeke is still. How old is Zeke?
It's not really how old he is; it's how worn he is.
He's 27.
Damn.
I thought he was 35.
I did too.
Like
Nope.
what?
Running backs don't have a very big shelf life.
I know, but we were just talking about how Derrick Henry still has life in him, and he's 29 years old.
He also has a lot less carries than Zeke.
Well, Derrick Henry is also a freak compared to Zeke. That's a whole different ballgame. Like Zeke is. There's a good question. Is Ezekiel Elliott a Hall of Famer?
No,
No?
absolutely not. No.
But Henry is, right? For sure.
He does look 35. Henry is for sure.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Is like, how do you?
I mean, I just look at everything: the touchdowns, the yards per carry, the consistency. It's
Like I want to see Zeke's. Let's
check
look
out
at Zeke's.
check out Zeke's stats the last few
Yeah,
years.
so
They're
that's what we're
not
doing.
very good.
So Zeke in his career has 8,200 yards in 7 seasons. That's about what Henry was at, right?
Henry's got
68 touchdowns.
But Henry's got less carries than him to get 300 more yards too.
How many?
And he's got 10 more touchdowns.
How many carries did Derrick Henry have?
What does Zeke have? 1,800? 1,880?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Let me bring it up. Henry.
He averages 4.4 yards a carry.
1,750 on the carries.
So 130 less.
130 less carries for 100 more yards. But he's also got half the receptions.
Zeke has 305 receptions.
Yeah. Like Henry's averaging 4.8 yards per carry for his career and 78 touchdowns. And Henry's also played only 4 full actually 3.5 full seasons out of 7.
I'd rather have Cordell Patterson than Zeke too. Isn't Cordell Patterson really old?
Yeah, I don't know.
Quarterback.
You want to hear a crazy stat?
31. I guess that's not that old.
I mean, it's old for a running back.
old
You
for
want to
running
hear a
back.
crazy stat? Aaron Rodgers last year threw 12 interceptions. It's the second most interceptions he's thrown in his whole career since 2005. The last time he threw the most interceptions was in 2008.
And 12 oh my god. He's never thrown more than 13 interceptions in his entire career.
Yeah, I know.
He's got almost a 5-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio.
He's like literally the opposite of Brett Favre. That's what
Dude,
Aaron Rodgers is.
It's
That
5-1. Yeah,
That's the most. His quarterback rating for his career is 104.
yeah, I know. And you're telling me that the Jets aren't going to be better than with Zach Wilson
Oh my god!
or Mike White?
I
Like,
knew
give
he
me
was.
a break.
He threw
Also, to
two-
put really quick to put into perspective, Mahomes is also at 5-1 with 105 rating over his career.
Yeah,
That's pretty
I mean,
impressive.
it is. But how long has he been playing? How many years? has he
No,
been in the league?
I know. I'm just saying like the pace he's on right now. The highest,
and Daniel Jones doesn't even average 1 touchdown a game.
the highest. Mahomes has 13 picks 1 year. That's his highest ever. But he went 50-12, 26-5, 38-6. Like those are some gross numbers. I do think
Patrick
Well,
Mahomes has been in the league for 6 years, and Aaron Rodgers has been in the league for 18 years.
Yeah.
Like, if Patrick Mahomes through 12 years he's been in the league for a third of the time, right?
How many yards does Aaron Rodgers have total?
60,000.
So Mahomes would have to be in for about 15 to like reasonably catch him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally, you could take Mahomes. He's on pace, but he would have to do the same thing for 2/3 more. Does that make sense? So, like, he's only been in the league for a third of the time that Aaron Rodgers has been in the league.
Right.
But he would have to keep this pace for 2/3 more of his career. So,
right. But you got to think
12 more years.
You got to think, even if he declines, though, right? So, like, if he goes 12 more years at the pace he's on right now, he'll throw for 75,000 yards. So he can decline quite a bit and still be fine.
Yes.
Like, he's at 25,000 right now. He only needs 35,000 more.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
And
he would have to decline a lot. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I mean, he will decline. Like, we know that.
But numbers wise, you are right, though. I mean,
you know what? Bryce Young and Stroud have thrown 0 interceptions in their careers.
Yes, they have. They are on fire. All right. Anyway, I do think it's about time to wrap it up. I will leave you with this one trivia nugget that I learned the other day that threw me off a little bit.
I want to say
James Cook. We did touch a little bit about James Cook. It's just a matter of seeing how many touches he actually gets, even if Singletary's gone. I mean, it's Josh Allen. He's just gonna tuck the ball and run,
or throw it 45 times a game.
Or throw it, yeah. And I don't know. It's Josh Allen. That's all you can say. I mean, James Cook is just hindered by Josh Allen.
So I saw a cool trivia fact. What 2014 first overall draft pick has never recorded more than double-digit sacks in his career? Was all the hype, worth all the money all these years, and still has never had a double-digit sack year.
Clowney.
That's right. Jadeveon Clowney. That dude was a monster in college. And then just... What?
Yeah,
what happened to him?
A college question. It was either going to be me or you answering
he went first overall.
Yeah,
and was just mid
the whole time. Had one of the most iconic defensive plays in the history of college football.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly.
Oh yeah, you made me watch that, huh?
Yeah,
you showed me that.
The Michigan pop.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the program.
Just trucked him
when the guy takes when Latimer takes the helmet and says, "I got your bonnet, baby."
Yeah,
that guy's a mess. All right, Monkey, guys. So
where's Lamar going to end up, Monkey? Just give me off the top of your head.
Nobody seems to be showing interest in him, and there's something wrong. There's something wrong with the market for Lamar.
It's collusion.
There's something up with that because all these teams that need quarterbacks, there's something either wrong with Lamar or just.
I think they're just making a point.
I think they're blackballing him. Yeah,
they're just going to say, we're not paying you that much money. You can just literally not play.
Yeah.
You think he stays?
Yeah, I think he does too.
What team now that doesn't have a quarterback is going to offer him anything though?
Literally, the only thing that could happen is that the Aaron Rodgers deals falls through with the Jets and they spend the farm to get Lamar because they have no other option. Because everyone else is gone. What are you going to do? Hire Carson Wentz?
Everybody else has a quarterback.
To come out there and play with the most star-studded offense that's going to come up in a while.
Well, he's going to play. He's going to be forced to play no matter what.
Who?
Lamar.
Well, yeah, they tagged him. I mean,
well, he's got to play.
He has to play.
He can't sit out.
Oh, well, I mean, that's actually not true. He didn't travel to the playoff game, so he could not play.
If he's not injured, he's not going to sit out.
You can't. You literally can't do that anymore. You can't Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, you can't
get paid if you you can't do. The NFL is making sure you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown broke that where they don't let you do that anymore. Yeah,
you can't sit out.
No, I mean
you don't think anyone matches or exceeds the current offer?
Mm-mm.
Honestly, I don't either.
$33 million a year, or
I mean,
no,
there's going to be a
133
point,
for 3 years, whatever that
there's
is.
going to be a point where you just go like,
45.
if they're offering
Yeah.
me 180 to 200 million and half of it's guaranteed, I mean, okay, what, you can't live the rest of your life like that if that's the only team.
Well, I
only thing
know
you can
the
offer?
franchise tag works like anybody is allowed to match it, and then they have to like see if or whatever the thing is. Can they take a lower offer if they choose to? Does that make sense? Like,
They have to give up 2 picks, right?
yeah, but that's if they match it. I'm saying, like, can someone say we'll take him for like 1 year, $30 million, and can they just agree to that, or is that not how it works? I don't know how it works. Or can they just flat out trade him?
They could trade him. Why can't they trade him?
No, unless agreed. But that's what I'm saying. Like, Baltimore could just say that doesn't match or exceed our offer, but sure, just take him off our hands. That's like, they can do that, right? He just can't.
He can't do shit. But yes,
Right.
Baltimore can ship him for whatever they want. They could ship him for pennies on the dollar if they want.
But if someone exceeds the offer they made, they either have to match it or he can say, I'm going.
But they have to. But the other team has to give up.
Right. But then it's sort of in his hands.
Yes, that's the only way. Is
Okay.
if someone offers him more money than the Ravens are willing to pay him, then he then has the choice to say, okay, I'm going to a different team.
And
If
that
they
team has to send 2 first-round picks to Baltimore.
Yes.
Okay.
And if they match the offer, then he has no say and he has to stay. I think.
Or Baltimore can ship him.
Or they can be
right,
like,
right.
yeah, bye, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right.
It is completely almost in their hands. Like
I think we'll have an answer by next week, I would guess.
I would
it can't
think
go.
so.
It can't go on for too much longer. So next week,
I mean, if Aaron Rodgers can say without a contract and under contract by the Packers that he wants to go play somewhere else, I'm pretty sure Lamar can be like, now that he's whatever, now that the new year has started, he can say, I want to go somewhere else and I don't want to play for Baltimore. He could at least say that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. That dude's kind of weird.
He is a weird dude.
Well, the whole Baltimore situation is just strange, and there's you know what, they got to know something, because they honestly, they offered him nothing, and they continue to stand by that. And
yeah.
Also, after Monkey, I know you put this after what just happened with Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay faithful would be pissed if Lamar Jackson showed. Do you imagine him walking in to Lambeau? It would be a whole mess. You do not want that going on.
They have Jordan Love at the helm.
I mean, no, I know he'd be better than Jordan Love. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like that they would be furious if that's the situation that happened.
I don't think they'd be happy.
But anyway, next week we're going to talk more free agency. We're going to break down tight ends. We'll be doing another giveaway. Hopefully we hear from Blaze at some point and figure that out. But we're going to be doing another giveaway, so check the Twitter. I'll be posting tomorrow. But yeah, I think we're pretty good for tonight. If anybody has any last things to say.
No, I think we covered a lot.
We did cover a lot, yeah.
I was surprised we didn't get hung up on one thing either, so.
Yeah.
I think that
go for it.
I think that the running back situation is lining up to be pretty interesting with like who is left with nobody. There's a couple teams that are kind of out in the cold right now when it comes to running backs. So when you really break it up now,
overall they're pretty even though. It's what's crazy. Like it's pretty distributed now. Where before it was like you had 2 backs that were good at some place. Like they're spreading it out a good amount. But you're right.
It seems like every team is getting that backup quarterback, a decent backup quarterback.
Yeah.
So they're not stuck. And also they're getting those 2 running backs that are both viable. And
well, you might. I'm just wondering, like, if you see like a league wide change from that. Yeah, I mean, it's really become a passing league, right?
I mean, I see running backs like saves in baseball. You don't have that elite closer anymore. You don't have that elite running back on every team anymore. It's a committee, and it's kind of like whoever fits the bill, passing, running, whatever. Yeah. Or we stick to it where it's a rotation, where it's
Yeah.
You're in there. You're in there between the 20s, and you're in there from the you're in there in the red zone.
Yeah, no, I think what you said is the most relevant is that it's become a running back by committee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
for every team.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Same.
all right, sorry. Love you, Monkey. Thanks for
Bye.
tuning in. Bye.